9 Lebanese men are to return home after being freed by Syrian rebels. The group has now crossed into southern Turkey from Syria. In May last year, rebels captured the men who said they were returning from a religious trip to Iran. And there's hope that 2 Turkish Airlines pilots abducted in Beirut in August will now also be released. We have correspondents in both countries. In a moment, we'll hear from Omar Saleh in Antakya in Turkey. But first, Andrew Simmons is live for us in the Lebanese capital, Beirut. Andrew, what is the situation there? Any word on when they might arrive?
Well, that's the quick question, Sammy. No one knows when this is going to happen, but there is a general positive air here that it will happen before long. I'm in a suburb of South Beirut. This is a predominantly Shia area. All of the pilgrims came from this area, and some of their relatives have been talking to us earlier on. As you can see, there is a widespread presence of Lebanese media and indeed a few international media waiting for the event to take place. But we spoke to one woman who's married to one of the pilgrims. He's in his 60s, and she was saying that we feel like pawns in a much bigger conflict that we have nothing to do with, and she's been very frustrated. She says we've been here before, that we've had these alerts that our relatives will be released, but this time she feels it's happening. But she said to us she'll believe it when she physically sees her husband and moves on from there. So right now, the way it's playing out here is this, that the Lebanese government from all parties is welcoming what's happened, that we are now unsure of the exact whereabouts of the Turkish pilots who are also described as pawns in a much bigger conflict. Where they are precisely right now, we're unsure, but some people are saying it's going to be a few hours, some are saying a few days. In actual fact, there's a big cloak of secrecy over this entire operation. And indeed, not only that, just what's gone on. The one thing that does stand out is that there's been a series of moves involving various diplomatic channels and others as well over the past few days. And what's one of the reasons why there's a banner up there you should be able to see, which was put up a good few days ago now, which basically welcomes all of the men back home. And then also that on Tuesday, the video was released of the 2 Turkish pilots. That was a key point in the negotiations because it was a demand made that should be shown.
All right, let's thank Andrew so much for that update from Lebanon. Let's cross over now to Turkey. Omar Saleh is standing by live for us there, talking about this complicated situation which involves 2 Turkish airline pilots. What's the latest on their fate?
Yes, well, Sami, we were told earlier by a government spokesperson that the 2 pilots were on their way to Turkey within a couple of hours. Now, that doesn't seem to be the case because a senior official within the Turkish Foreign Ministry told Al Jazeera that the 2 pilots have not reached the Turkish embassy in Beirut. In a separate development, a spokesperson for the Turkish Airlines said about an hour ago that their flight is ready to go to Beirut, but they're still waiting for a call from the Turkish embassy so they can start the journey from Istanbul to Beirut. Now, because this is a 3-way deal, we believe now one Syrian activist who is close to the Northern Storm Brigade, that's the group that abducted or kidnapped the Lebanese hostages, says that their demand of releasing Syrian female prisoners from Syrian government prisons in Syria have been met, and now that they are either on Turkish territory or they are about to reach Turkish soil. Roughly, we understand they could be around 102 female prisoners coming to Turkey. Of course, this is complicated and still fluid, so things may well change.